Hello, this is Pastor Paul. Welcome to the Lord of Life Lutheran Church Sermon Podcast. We're glad you're here. Each week we provide the sermon from our worship service as a way of sharing the hope we have found in Jesus Christ. To learn more about Lord of Life, please visit our website at www.lordoflife.online. And now, here's this week's message.
The Holy Gospel according to Luke. Glory to you, O Lord. And after he said this, Jesus went ahead, going to Jerusalem. When he had come near Bethphage and Bethany, at the place called the Mount of Olives, Jesus sent two of the disciples, saying, "Go to the village ahead of you, and as you enter it, you will find there a donkey or a colt that has never been ridden. Untie it and bring it here. Now if anyone asks you, 'Why are you untying it?' just say this, 'The Lord needs it.'" So those who were sent departed and found it just as Jesus told them. As they were untying the colt, the owners asked them, "Why are you untying the colt?" They said, "The Lord needs it." Then they brought it to Jesus, and after throwing their cloaks on the colt, they set Jesus on it. As he rode along, people kept spreading their cloaks on the road. As Jesus was now approaching the path down from the Mount of Olives, the whole multitude of disciples began praising God joyfully with a loud voice for all the deeds of power that they had seen, saying, "Blessed is the King who comes in the name of the Lord, peace in heaven and glory in the highest heaven." Some of the Pharisees in the crowd said to Jesus, "Teacher, order your disciples to stop." Jesus answered, "I tell you, if these were silent, the stones would shout out." The Gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. You may be seated. The Gospel. We find ourselves this morning in the middle of the beginning of something, right? The middle of the beginning of something big. And can you imagine the energy, how it must have crackled on that day as people were coming from all over the world? It kind of makes me wonder if you've ever been to a music festival or maybe Sturgis. All the people, all the energy, tent cities just popping up in every crease and crevice of the city as Jerusalem expands to be 2 or 3 times the size as people gather. I wonder if it felt a bit like a family reunion, something like Thanksgiving, a time of bittersweet, as we remember new people and welcome new people into the family, new faces, and remember those who aren't there this year, who didn't make that journey. Bitter, sweet, big, in the middle of something, the beginning of something. How the air must have crackled, because this is not just a music festival. This was something sacred, something holy, a moment, a space suspended in time between the stories and the rememberings of the Passovers before, all the way back to Moses and the people, Egypt and slavery, God bringing freedom and liberation, the people freed from slavery into the wilderness, the people in a time there's there in the middle of the beginning of something wild, something new, something unknown. Can you imagine all the people gathering together around Jerusalem to remember that time, but also perhaps beginning to get a sense that this might be one of those times too? Something different in the air. There's a little bit of the ridiculous in Palm Sunday. Could you imagine Jesus coming down a trail on an untrained donkey that's never been ridden, People putting their coats down and this donkey trampling on it, and palm branches and people all around, not sure what's going on, but knowing that something's happening. Can you imagine people starting to shout and to proclaim all the things that Jesus has done, Jesus' deeds of power? Is he the king that we've been hoping for? He's going from the Mount of Olives down the trail that leads to the gate where the Messiah is to come through. Is it? Could it be? That deeds of power. Jesus, the one, the great healer, the restorer, the one who brings wholeness. Wherever he goes, there is the beginning of something in the air. You can imagine the frenzied energy, a little bit frightening, a little bit unwieldy, a little bit messy and unstable. We hear the Pharisees saying, Jesus, please, calm the people down. But not even Jesus could contain the energy of the moment. He said, if these people were quiet, even the stones would shout out, this is the beginning of something. Can you imagine the energy, the little bit of chaos, the wonder, the worry, the unknown, the unknowing, something happening, and the frenzied energy, unstable, out of control, but also exciting. They say that the same energy that we have that is excitement is the same feeling in our bodies as anxiety and worry. And I imagine that this was all of that. In that moment, a little wild, a little out of control, a bit much. I find myself wondering, those crowds all gathered around, caught up in the excitement, the possibility, the hope that in all of this unknown, here comes one who is the way, the truth, the life, the one who will bring order in the chaos of this world, the one who will bring life and hope and peace and wholeness. I wonder if those who are shouting praise are the same ones who not so long afterwards raise their fists in saying, crucify him, crucify him. How strange it is to think that the hands that shout Hosanna become fists that shout crucify. And in the middle of all of this human drama, human trauma, there is Jesus on this donkey. Jesus who doesn't flee, doesn't run away, but Jesus who continues to make the way into the heart of human chaos. Jesus who doesn't flinch, but faithfully, full of love and kindness, radical, defiant kindness, goes right into the heart of chaos to the cross itself. Jesus doesn't give up. Jesus doesn't walk away. In the knowing and the unknowing and the unknowable, there Jesus goes to that cross. Doesn't abandon this human chaos, the human trauma and drama and all of it. Jesus right there with us. I sometimes wonder if we might be in one of those times, in the middle of the beginning of something. It can feel like we're in that in-between of what was and what is going to be, what might be. Fancy people call it that liminal space, the space between here and there. It can feel like we're in the middle of the beginning of something. And as hard as I try to squint and see, as hard as you and I, as church, as people of God, as people, as citizens of the world, creatures of this animal kingdom, as we squint to try to see, it still seems fuzzy. And as we lean in to listen, we cannot quite hear. Unknowable, unknown, in the middle, suspended, in the middle of the beginning of something. It can be exciting, but it also can be unsettling. And in the heart of this time, we have God made flesh, God, one of us. We have Jesus Christ who does not give up, does not turn away, even when our hearts go from praise and hosanna to whispering crucify with anger and fear and us and them and bitterness and anger. Jesus does not turn his back on you or me or this wild and beautiful and wicked world. And if Jesus doesn't give up, if God refuses to give up on you and me in this wild world, then I think we can be people of hope too. People of courage, knowing that God does not give up. God will not give up on you or me, but continues to join us in the heart of chaos and the heart of the human story of drama and trauma and love and kindness and beauty and wickedness and ugliness. God with us in all of it. And so we are people of hope and of good courage, knowing that we can take the next step, not knowing what it might look like, not knowing what it might sound like or be like. We can take this next step together, not alone, together, not alone, God with us, today, tomorrow, and forevermore. Amen.
Thanks for listening to the Lord of Life Lutheran Church Sermon Podcast. If you're ever in the Dubuque Land area, please join us for worship. Visit our website at www.lordoflife.online to learn more about service times and about our vision for serving God and our community. God bless you.